3, 2, 1.
Light them up.
I'm Paul.
This is Buck.
This is the Paul and Buck Show.
Hey, the big Buckin deal. Curious? Download the latest app at paulandbuckshow.podbean.com. Okay, guys.
What's up, man? We're back.
Paul and Buck.
There we go.
Big Buckin deal. We're back. Look, it's just we were on a little hiatus, and it is 2024.
2024, man, new year.
So new year, we're making an appearance.
Yeah.
we haven't gone nowhere. We've just been taking care of our business. Things going on, right? Things have been happening, but for good. We're gonna do a little bit better job of getting some info out and things that are going on, news, car shows, events.
We can actually throw a few pennies out there and hit a few things, right? But
every now and then.
Point is trying to get us together to do the recording is probably the problem. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
We all got things going on, so it's all good. Like I said, just like with work or whether it's personal or things going on, you had a lot of things going on with your house, which is it's all good.
Oh yeah.
But everything's squared away for the most part. But again, we're gonna make some time, and we're gonna do some recordings. We're gonna have some people in, some new folks are gonna come in, and we're gonna do things just a little bit different. But overall, it's still gonna be something car related, music related, whatever.
Anything to bring the spirit back, man. Y'all want to hear something? Here we are. So when you're bored at home, you got nothing to do, man.
Tune in.
Tune in. Come check us out, man. We're out here. We'll be in your ears.
Yeah, and so just to kind of, let's just kind of recap the things that happened over the past year, right? We are in a new place, right? We're just kind of in a little side area of a shop that I do side projects in. If anybody didn't know, I'm sure you did. Yeah. So wiring, CenTex Wiring Solutions here in Hutto.
I mean, he does some really nice houses, guys. I mean,
so yeah,
you ought to see the houses that he wires. Oh no, you don't do houses, right?
I'm not that kind of electrician.
You do imports, right? Oh shit, you don't even do that.
That's fighting
words.
What
do you do?
That's fighting words, man. No. I mean, yeah. So all in all, I do hot rods, muscle cars, ideally race cars of any type, EFI, nitrous, switch pan, whatever it is, right? So, but I can do anything. Anyway, that's what we do here. That's what I do here in this little area.
It's peaceful. Do you play music, man, whenever you're wiring stuff?
Of course.
Do you put them in your headsets, or you just turn on the garage?
I put it on the garage.
See, I can't freaking listen to music when I work on stuff. I gotta work on shit, and you put some music on, and I start getting pissed off because like that fucking Joker, man, he sings horrible, and so I go back to the radio and I gotta change it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, I hate that song. Then I go back and I'm trying to do something else, man, and then it's like, damn, I hate that song. Then I go. So I finally
usually if I do anything, I do Spotify. There's a little playlist that you can go on with. If it's a song that's horrible, which is not a lot, I do find myself going over and skipping.
So,
but
so for the three listeners that we probably got here, what kind of music? So you guys know, what kind of music are you into?
Me?
Yeah, just since day one. What's your default of music that you normally will always listen to? So they'll know that if you ever listen to the podcast, we got some music going on. You'll know where that music is coming from, because we all have a preference.
Yeah.
What do you listen to?
Well, that's good, because there's gonna be an upcoming episode that we're gonna have.
Right.
That's gonna talk about just music, because a lot of my close relatives, they're kind of in the same music that I am. Which, if people didn't know, I like Some people do know, but I don't. Well, I like everything rock, mostly heavy metal, like some heavy metal stuff. I mean, it can range anywhere from like.
Is it satanic?
No.
Is that what you like?
I mean,
no, it's cool.
No. It's not. People say that it's just.
Do you ever play? When you were little, did you ever play that record backwards? to get the
No,
message.
that's all retarded.
Cheech and
That's
Chong.
stupid. Yeah, Cheech and Chong.
That actually came out with
had a lot of Cheech and Chong back in my time. And people say your time. Yeah, my generation. We listened to albums, right? We used to. You know,
play that
as
record.
kids, we
It
used to
was
go
for
in the
real.
back at the families or relatives'
Headphones.
house.
That was for real.
Well, headphones. We used to play the Richard Pryor and the Eddie Murphy.
But they don't even call them
record.
headphones, man. They don't call headphones today. Headphones.
No, yeah, headphones were kind of like this.
Or techie, Josh. What do they call headphones today? What's the modern word?
Beats.
Earpods,
Earbuds,
earbuds,
beads,
right?
pods.
It's earbuds. So if I say headphones, y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right?
It's the same thing.
But nobody says headphones.
Yeah, they're pods or buds or
Yeah, earbuds, you call them earbuds.
Earbuds.
yeah.
See,
Headphones
my
are
youngest
different.
son, he always corrects me, man. He always tells me earbuds. So go get my headphones. He's like, earbuds.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, man? Whatever, dude. Headphones. Go get my Walkman. You know, he'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Or turn on raise the volume on the stereo. He looks at me like,
What are you talking about?
You know, for the volume for the surround sound and all that. And like he looks at me for a while. He would look at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you
You know,
talking
just
about?
go raise the volume up on that thing. Just, no, now you see that knob over there. Turn it a little bit. You know, batteries are out on the remote.
Right. So yeah, it was different back then, but my preference is more rock.
Yeah.
I like, if you want to go into influences, right?
Right.
ZZ Top. There was Cheap Trick, Eddie Money. All that. Rush, Police. That.
Right.
That's what back in the '70s. I'm gonna go back way back to late '70s. That was my thing that I listened to. And then I got into metal. Then
That was your retro music.
Yeah, that was and then you get into then they had the British rock come in, the British metal, then the Judas Priest, Scorpions, and Iron Maiden. Woo,
Right.
got into that, and I wouldn't even say I get in. It's not satanic music. There's nothing satanic about it. It's just they're just
That's the devil music.
they're just going by what sells, right? Mostly. And if I like any of that music, it's all just because
Eat
of
the head off
riff.
of a bat.
It's just all the riff. It ain't got nothing to do with the lyrics.
Right.
I don't go. It's the riff because the riff is what gets you going.
What's a
And
riff? Tell us what is a riff.
Come on, a riff is a guitar riff, right? There's a beat that gets a riff when like an intro,
Right.
or there's
Solo. It's like a solo.
well, yeah, not necessarily.
Not
I mean,
okay.
solos are thing. That's the thing. But a riff is like the beat, right? The riff. You got the riff of the guitar, and you got the rhythm of the. To me, it's the double bass, right? The double bass gets you going.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and listen to, in my opinion, to listen to a country movie and say, "Ooh, that's making something happen." That doesn't work. So when you listen to metal,
Yeah.
and you hear that groove and that riff and that drum and that double bass, it's like, okay, that's what gets me. So. Going back into the early '80s,
Right.
you get the sound of Metallica, right?
Right.
Metallica. First time I heard Metallica was in '84, right? The first album I heard from Metallica was Ride the Lightning.
When I heard that, man, it was just sound
So
in my ear.
the first song on Ride the Lightning was Fight Fire with Fire. The way that song started off, I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So then you go to learn, hey, they had an album before this, right? '83, Kill 'Em All. So, then you got into that genre, and that was my thing, right? I got into all that. Nowadays it's good music. You follow. There's anybody from Texas heard of Pantera, right? And
Right.
You follow Pantera '90s.
I walked
That's
into
that's my genre of
Yeah.
music, more of metal, heavy metal with always that touch of some classic rock.
right.
Because my uncles, like I said, I was talking about family. My uncles got me into a lot of that. I used to cruise my uncle back when I was like 8 or 9, and he used to listen to, the Cars and ZZ Top, and that was my thing. That's what I like, and that's what I listen to now. Right? That's all the music I hear. You don't hear me. I won't be blaring no country. I won't be blaring nothing else. It's just anybody who knows me. That's what we're gonna be listening to in here, right? So.
I like country, but
Tejano, of course, I grew up in Tejano. I never, that's, you used to have to go to the quinceaneras and you used to have to dance to
but
it,
did you ever
pretend to it.
but did you grow up with Tejano, or you heard it and then that's like, okay, well, we know that's Tejano?
No, I mean,
But
that
did
was
you
my
grow up with it?
grandparents. My grandparents, that's all you listen to. That's all they listen to. my dad listens to country in Tejano. That's, you can probably go in his truck right now and he probably has a Tejano station on it.
Right.
So I mean, I grew up on it. I didn't get into it. I wasn't raised to.
Right.
I didn't.
See, now for me, I got a different little world because I grew up in I come from South Texas, and so in South Texas, it's kind of like I grew up in a place where it was kind of like the Dukes of Hazzard,
Well,
Dukes of Hazzard of Mexicans, it was a little town, it was dirt roads, and to have fun back then, those guys, man, they would take their muscle cars and they freaking literally looked like Dukes of Hazzard running around. It was smoke and all, but everybody out there, man, what they did was like you're talking about quinceañeras and parties and all that.
Yeah.
There was always
Family
how
gatherings.
you had garage bands here.
Oh yeah.
Well, they had garage. Well, they didn't have garage bands. They just had let's get together and play some music, whatever the style is. That most of the time out there it was Tejano music.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with my brothers that are a lot older than me. So I grew up with them playing music. So to me, it was like. I like hearing Tejano music, even though I don't know not one damn freaking person that plays the music.
Right.
But I know that my brothers played all that. All
You like
songs.
Selena?
So I reckon. No, I didn't. I really didn't. I really didn't. I was like, nah, man, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
But I could always hear one of those songs on the radio that oh yeah, my brothers played it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they like cars. They race car stuff. But later on, it's kind of like we move over here.
Right.
And I'm like, nobody plays Tejano music like that. Nobody plays.
Yeah.
There's none of that stuff.
Dude, yeah.
So there's people like you that I meet, and then there's people who are into, bass and rap.
Yeah. That was always that was kind of like of course, we got into some of that, Nemesis,
Munchies for your bass.
Yeah, Nemesis.
See, I can name some of those.
So when I was in high school, in late high school, we all had Ron C. We all had bass.
Yeah.
We all had bass. So yeah, I listen. I had that too. I mean, there was a phase, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
You got into
bass wars,
the Two Live Crew. Then you had NWA, all that.
Dude, there was a time
on
that, 6th Street.
DJ Quick, that was.
Dude, there was a time on 6th Street, man, where every other car was playing Two Live Crew.
Yeah.
And we, everybody used to hang out down on 6th. Dude, every car that was bassing were playing freaking Two Live Crew, man. Like we would get
DJ
stuck.
Magic Mike.
By 12 o'clock, man, the traffic was hot, man, and every other car was Two Live Crew.
We talked about down 6th Street back in the day.
Yeah.
You used to start from the other side of West 6th Street, go down a couple blocks, go across 35, and to go through 6th Street used to take about 2 hours to get.
Dude, you'd see Custom Sounds with their freaking sponsored, advertising vehicles hitting it. Dye Electronics, they had a big old brown Suburban, man, with like I think they had like 12, 8 or 12 freaking 15s, 18s in that thing. And when that thing would pass by, man, it had the big Thompson Baja tires,
Yeah, it'd be
huge.
rattling.
And dude, Two Live Crew, jamming
that like I said, that was a phase. I was in it. People who knew me.
Did you ever build like a system?
Oh yeah, dude, man. Funny story. So I used to drive that 55 to school, right? And my sister had an 82 Riviera, so she gave it to me, right? So it was funny. I told my dad, I said, "Hey, go buy me a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, the nice, nice clean board." And I got out of school at 4 o'clock, got home, built a box for this Riviera for 15s. I had a box for 15s for that truck, which I never. It wasn't. I shouldn't have did it, but anyway, I built a box for that Riviera, put 15s in it. By 8 o'clock, 8:30, I was jamming down the strip down there in that Riviera, and so yeah, I mean that's what I used to do, man. I used to do that back when I was like in 6th, 7th grade. I used to build boxes for people and hook up their, audio shit, but. It's changed a lot, but back then you used to get the Punch 45, Punch 150.
Right.
I had a couple acoustic amps that were, in my opinion, were badass. I had a 45, some acoustic highs, some separates, and I had some Punch 15s. I had 12.
Everybody really had Punch. That was
Punch was the thing. The
Custom
Fosgate.
Sounds, Dyers, they were all selling the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Quartz,
we used to go hit that Custom Sounds there at Murder all the time, and then Dyer was down there on Ben White.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a phase. I mean, yeah, it was. But to go back to what you're saying about in the early '90s when Selena was big. Yeah, she used to come to Austin all the time.
Right.
Yeah, so we used to go. There was Tejano things going on. Not
it
quite
was-
as big,
yeah.
but it was happening.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about going down south, I wanted to bring up about when you went to San Antonio back in the
Right.
'80s. San Antonio was a big heavy metal spot.
Yeah, it was.
And it's still that station's still there, Kiss 95. It's when I remember going down to San Antonio back in '83, and that's one of the first times we had relatives down there.
Yeah.
We were going down there, and it was playing Motley Crue,
Yeah.
Shout at the Devil. I'm like, oh, I like that too. So
They always had
that
better
was
stations
'83.
in here,
Yeah, that was '83. Sometimes you can pick it up here around here, but not so much. But getting to San Antonio San Antonio was huge on metal, man.
Right.
It was big.
Yeah.
And this still is. They still have a lot. They have a lot more concerts than Austin do as far as metal concerts go
Right.
now. But now that Coda opened up, they got a lot of events at Circus of America, so they have a lot of good concerts now. Which before nothing really came to the Urban
No.
Center. Nothing came nowhere else in Austin.
I
But
remember Metallica came there. Metallica's
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
And they're they've been out. They haven't been out in a while.
Yeah,
that was
that
the first time actually
that was in
some noise that I heard. Some noise
that was in
Metallica
was in '92 when
Yeah.
they came to Urban Center. The first time because I went to that concert. So
Right.
But yeah, that was in '92 in January. Actually, I remember it was January '92
Yeah.
in the Black Album. But to kind of go down to touch on like the preference of music, like I said, that's what. So for me, when it actually probably started. So I had another uncle that was kind of closer to my age, but
Yeah.
this was like maybe 79, 80, 1980. I was like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah.
The first song that I heard that kind of drew me into it was War Pigs, Black Sabbath, off of Paranoia. I was like, whoa, okay, it was different, It's the way it started out. I'm like, okay, and then that's what's kind of gravitated me more towards that.
Did it make you want to?
No,
Did you
man.
play guitar? Or
I did play guitar.
Okay,
so I played guitar a lot later, but it doesn't make you aggressive. It doesn't make you do this. It's just for me and most other people, they just like the way the riff. They can give a shit about some. I'm not saying lyrics are bad in some of the bands because some of the lyrics are a little bit more deeper than a lot of people think because they don't want to. They hear they hear the guitar and they find a way. Oh, this is gonna be crappy. But if you listen to some of the lyrics, are good. But there's other lyrics like on some of these other bands. If you just hear the groove and the beat, the lyrics really sometimes they just kind of fade right out. You just man, it's got a good groove. It's licking. It's jamming. It's hard. It's got a good beat, and you can hear it through. So like some of the later bands that I got into, like in the '90s, was like of course one of my favorite bands, Alice in Chains. Best overall, and then you got into like Seven Dust, Chevelle, and some of these other bands. There, Slipknot was okay. They're too industrial to me. Which they got some good tunes, but some good licks. But yeah, there's bands that I still listen to that.
Korn and all these other.
Yeah, I got into some of that new metal.
Yeah.
That new metal was good.
Limp
Korn,
Bizkit.
Deftones, and Limp Bizkit was kind of a thing back in like
90s.
those late '90s. And then, like I said, Seven Dust is still going strong to these days. They're still playing good music. They got a lot of good albums. But anyway, I've seen pretty much most of them. And Tool, right? I got into Tool. Tool's like kind of like I don't know if you consider that like a new metal.
Right.
It's not heavy. It's not light. It's like
what
right in the middle.
brought those guys out to I guess to my spectrum is because they were being placed into movies. Either in the credits or during the during the movies, you could hear. They would use their
some of the
music.
tunes. Yeah.
And so that's where I kind of started liking the.
So
beats
what's
of
your preference?
Man, so when I move over here, right, there's, I'm
When you move back,
I don't know shit about Tejano. I know my brother played Tejano. I know the tone of what Tejano is, and then there's Tejano music from Austin, right? And that's different.
Yeah,
That's like Lil Joe and all those guys, right? If you know those guys.
Yeah.
So I knew the difference between those two, man, but I really didn't know the names. But where it finally, so I go to school here, it's like I'm in first grade, second grade, third grade. And I'm like, man, I don't really listen to music, and I just draw, I just
Right.
love hot rods, man. That's all I care.
Yeah.
And I remember this one girl goes, "You listen to music?" I said, "Yeah, I listen to music." You know who Michael Jackson is? And I'm like, "Yeah," but I didn't.
No.
So I go home because we didn't even have MTV
Yeah,
back in the day. Remember that shit?
yeah.
So I go home like, man,
Go find a
who the fuck
45.
who's Michael Jackson and shit? I started looking through all the records and shit. I'm like, dude, I don't even find no Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
again.
go look for all the album and 45.
That shit wasn't
Yeah.
in our house. And
Yeah.
But as breakdance came around, that's
yeah.
when I had friends that were running around with jam boxes back then, tying them up on bikes and shit.
Yeah.
And they had cassettes, man. So that's when I'm like, dude, where'd you get that? Oh well, you can just record it, So they put it in there,
Dub it.
and I get it. Yeah, I get
Dub
a
it,
copy of
yeah,
a tape,
yeah.
but had no clue of what it was. What I really did know, what I really did like, was a freaking rock and roll from the 50s and early 60s, American Graffiti.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I knew all those songs, Chuck,
Yeah.
Chuck Berry and Elvis
Yeah.
and all these dudes. So if you ever asked me,
Oh, dude.
what kind of music are you into?
Yeah.
I never thought about saying, do you
Well-
know who Chuck Berry is?
Well,
more than likely they probably didn't.
That's
man.
funny you say that because I touched on my uncle and my
Yeah.
family that got me into some of those rock. But that was his forte was like that 50s, like the fried green onions and Chuck Berry. A lot of those bands and that's his style. And you could probably go play about a 5-second clip of a song from the 50s. He probably tell you what it is.
Right.
Anyway, so. Yeah, I hear you. That was a part that you could touch on it. I said, hey, I remember,
Right.
but to me, like I said, I didn't really gravitate to it a whole lot, but I know of it because that's what I kind of grew up on too.
Right.
Because you can go to my uncle's bar,
Yeah.
and he's got probably something like that playing in the background from like the '60s or
Right.
50s.
Well, for me, man, when I was in my room, that's what I would play. But as soon as I stepped outside the house, man, there'd be there'd be a basketball playing at somebody's garage basketball.
And playing some music.
Dude,
in the background.
immediately, man, it's breakdance music,
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff, and then
yeah.
little by little, it's
Yeah.
Two Live Crew and all those guys.
Ice-T,
I mean, all that started coming in, but it got to a
Yeah.
point where even rap was too intense for me, man, because they were just kind of.
Yeah, it got out there.
I'm like, that's not bass no more.
Yeah,
It's just more
yeah.
of a just yelling and
Yeah, no.
remember Ice-T, fuck the police. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
damn, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Ice Cube and all
Ice
this,
Cube, they had that. Ice-T had some other like anti stuff, right? So that it was more of a theme, but yeah, you're right because like I said, like I said, there's phases, right?
There's
you
phases
go through those phases. Like everybody was in that mid '80s
Right.
breakdancing, then they got to the rap, and then always to me was always rock and roll or something. But I listened to it because
that's where you guys
yeah.
kind of separated and said, yeah, fuck it, man. Too much stuff is changing over here.
Yeah.
And you guys always kept it. So one day I walk into the back room. You remember the back room?
No, shit, that was.
I walk in there because a
dude.
friend of mine, he goes, hey man, come meet me over here, man. I'm down the street.
Go play some pool.
Do you know who was playing in there? And I didn't even know. It was Pantera.
Pantera?
They were playing right there, man. And
Yeah.
everybody's fucking. I'm like, dude, this sounds pretty
I was
good.
probably there.
You probably
I probably
were.
was there because I seen them. Yeah, so the back room was a stomping ground. I used to go. Ooh. Yeah, there's nothing like going into the back room and you get a whiff of like smoke and piss.
It's dark.
And like
it was dark and you just go to the stage and just kind of stand in the middle.
That's kind of what when you walked in there, it was an aroma of like
everything.
Everything's
Weed,
like
cigarettes,
weed is like
beer.
and you get a whiff of the rest. So but it didn't matter because you're having fun,
Right.
You go play pool over here. You go over here. You go catch some live music. Get in the pit, caught in the pit or something. But so you probably So
dude. So so every now and then, man, like that's where like we'd meet up because that place was
That
more
was-
approachable. And then on
instead
the
of
other
going
side,
downtown.
well, no,
6th
just
Street,
opposite to that shopping center. There was another club, and that was for
It was that was cocktails.
It was cocktails, and so that had
That was another
nothing
place.
but, So that was bringing like
That was a mix of things. Yeah.
that hip hop, all this shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know shit. I didn't know none of them, none of those songs or the people, because that was like all New York like music and stuff. So it was like I had to do some research, because it was good music, right? And then you had some friends that were with lowriders, so they jam out to that.
Yeah, man.
But I never knew how to go pick records or none of that shit. I always like, well, whatever, man, that's cool. I only know I only know rock and roll. You know, I'm gonna go buy me some of these.
Well, it's funny you say that because that it was so funny because behind the back room was cocktails and cocktails was
it was a dance.
It had a touch of some Latin hip hop with some rap and it was
some
a dance
hot-looking
club.
women. Some hot-looking women.
So
those all the women.
Every Thursday was hot lake contest. So anyway, so it was.
That's when you see the back room mixing.
Yeah, and that was me because I would do one week and
Flip
anyway, but I was more really at the back room. But
right.
But there was some Mexican women in there. There was women. It was a dance club. Basically, what it come down to, it was a dance club, mix of everybody. It was so funny because I used to go. We were 19, man. You used to go in there. They used to stamp you.
Yeah.
Stamp you, and if you're under 21, and we used to go just have some alcohol wipes in our hand, and that's all they did was just stamp you. They stamped the minors; they wouldn't do nothing else to the adults. So we just go wipe the stamp off, and it's there you go. But so that was a mix of everything. So that was literally right there, right off Riverside.
Yeah,
boom, right.
I used to work at Advanced Micro Devices.
Oh, AMD,
yeah. And so there was some guys that were working there. They're Arab, and they look like Mexicans just like us, right? Until they talk, I'm like, hey, hell, hey, what's going on? My name's Omar. Oh, Omar, hey, what's up, Omar? No, Amar. Oh, my bad. It's AMMAR. But anyway, so I get to know him, and he turns out he knew some of these guys that they used to race, on the side streets like us. Okay. And it was those Arab guys that had the fast ass freaking Mazdas, all that stuff. And to me, man, it looked like they would just, man, they'd buy that car, fix it up, and if it blew up, they'd come back and
buy another.
Dude, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, those are my friends. And they're like, hey, so these guys, one was from like Iraq, the other one was from, I don't know, somewhere around there, right? It's like a combination. He's like, where do we party here? And I'm like,
I don't know.
The shopping center, the back room. You want to go? Yes, I would like to go to that place. The way he would say it. So we're in there, and I said, yeah, man, just, this is the Lex contest. Just don't pass the rope, just. So he goes, so how do you talk to these women? And so he asked me straight up like that. I said, I don't know, man. You just go straight up to them. Hey, and I'm like, dude, ask them if they want to dance.
Yeah.
That motherfucker said, okay. He walked straight over there. And he actually asked a group or 3 or 4 of the actual dancers. And I still remember this because all of a sudden he brings them back. He brings them back to us. And he's like, this is so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, dang. In my whole entire life, my whole friends that I grew up with around, they've never been able to do that. But yet I get one dude that as soon as they hear him talk, they just jumped all over it. And I was like, damn, dude, I need to hang out with you a little more often.
He might have flashed some dollar bills.
He might have. They had credit cards for sure. I'll tell you that. No shortness.
That's funny.
Money.
That's funny.
But that was one funny thing that. But those guys, man, they were really fast on the street. I remember there was one of the guys. I don't remember what his name was, but he had like a silver Mazda or something like that. It was a real fast turbo car. It ran like 11s on the street. That was quick, because most everybody was like 12, 13 street tire. But anyway, so that was actually pretty neat. But throughout the whole entire time, man, I never actually listened to music. But for racing, I did realize that if it was better if I was listening
to some aggressive
music. It just it was a little cooler, a little better, because you can't bass. You can't bass on the starting line to some Too Short. You're gonna want to freaking start acting like everybody else. Open the door, check out my speakers. No, you don't want to do that. But so it was actually pretty cool, man. Just like Little River, man. They always played some good music. Was it you? Were you the one telling them to play the music back in the day?
I don't know. Yeah, they used to have. I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a guy that they used to play like some behind the PA. There was always something going on in the background. I never knew that guy's name, but it wasn't me that told him, like, hey, just play it. Because, going through, like, from, the phases, right? That, you go through, and then ultimately, it comes down to, like, if you go look at the genres, like, rap music nowadays, rap music is not rap music. So you can see those guys are still, some of those guys are still, they still kind of go on tour. But if you go look at the people who are like into rock and roll and metal, man, they're still living it, man. They still love it. They still go out and tour. They still make new albums. You know. So I'm not comparing one to the other, but you just go look at the longevity and the career length of some of these rock and roll musicians. They're living it.
So that's probably I guess for everybody who's listening, if we hadn't made you go to sleep yet, if you ever hear some of our podcasts and sometimes you hear some background music. You're gonna hear Buck's music. He's the one that does the final editing, so that everything sounds good and from one word to another, nothing breaks. But I have no problem with any of the music that he puts on because actually I like it when it comes to racing, and some of you may actually understand it. Who would want to go and put some country music, pop a top again, and you're waiting for the green light to go.
That's kind of what, that's kind of my thought, right? Because, I mean, granted, country music great, for whatever, but like I said, it just doesn't, it doesn't get the juices going. You know what I mean? It doesn't get the...
No, it doesn't work.
You can't listen to like, somebody crying and losing their pet dog and... losing the house and the wife and whatever.
Living on refried dreams,
you can't get nothing flowing there. But
put some Tejano music behind that freaking
but when you
Chevelle.
Exactly. But when you hear some good riff and some good beats and you're just like, oh yeah, that sounds good. That goes good with what we're doing here, right? So. But,
Godsmack, I always like playing Godsmack for some reason.
Godsmack, that's another good one.
It's not. They're not hardcore, but the music had some good rhythm that you could play whenever you're cruising around. Obviously, you turn the fucking radio off, but
it was a good moderate beat. It wasn't too heavy. It was just right. It has a good beat. It's got good riffs because Godsmack has some good riffs. Like man, all that from that period was all. Yeah, that's what I was all about. So, and not just me. A lot of people, like I said, I have some other cousins. That they.
So you can bring your cousins on.
They're gonna come on and both my cousins, they play guitar really, really well. Right. I can strum on the guitar, I can make some good riffs, but they play really good. And they've been in bands on 6th Street. So, but they got a podcast. It's called the Music Memory Club or Music Memory Show. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have them on. They got some good stuff. And they'll crack you up. So, but overall, that's going to be the plan. We're going to talk about everything. Like I said, today we're just touching on music, our preference, and I just want to share.
Basically.
And people may know that because me and my wife, we go to a lot of concerts. We go to a ton of concerts.
Didn't you say that's how you pretty much?
That's how I met my
clicked
wife.
It off, right?
Yeah, we met at an Alice in Chains concert, by the way.
Nice.
So,
how I met my wife?
How did you meet your wife?
Tejano music and I can't dance that shit.
Shit. You were there doing something, huh?
Tejano music and I can't dance that shit.
Hey, man.
I'm left-handed. I got a left feet. And give me a freaking spool. I can't walk for shit. I can't dance, man.
Yeah.
But but I enjoyed going out there, man, because, the music was always cool. And
I dig music.
I guess there was a movement of Tejano music back then with Selena and all that.
Yeah.
So the bands that were coming in, I was liking that Emilio, playing on the music.
It wasn't like you're right. That movement of Tejano, it was not like your traditional Tejano. It was more of a new wave kind of radio.
Yeah, there was something different that came in.
Yeah, I mean, it was, there's Gary Hobbs. There was Emilio Nevada.
What? I'll tell you what. It made me want to pick up the guitar and play what these guys were playing. Like Michael Salgado, he came out. He had a tune, right? Yeah. And I'm like, man, my brother's been playing all this stuff. I never once ever wanted to learn because it was their thing. You know what I mean? And I wasn't into it. I left South Texas, so I don't know. Hell, I had trouble speaking Spanish back when I got older. I'm like, damn, I can't even. And I tell him, I said, dude, I grew up Chicano, man, here in Austin. Over there you guys speak Spanish and English all day long. I said, here, dude, we're freaking no sabos. There's a lot of us.
Well,
but
same way. We used to always go to San Jose or go to the church.
Yeah.
Right, and that was the thing. That was like a spring break for us back growing up. We used to go there all the time.
I was looking up here on my phone. My nephew, he's the son to my oldest brother. He plays
guitar, right?
He plays the shit.
Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah.
So for you guys, you might want to look him up on Facebook. His name's Fonzo Hernandez. and
Yeah,
man,
he
he
showed
can
me
play.
some of his licks.
He can play the guitar pretty good.
Yeah.
He's with the band. I don't follow the name of the band, but I'm sure you guys, you know who he is because y'all went to school with him and stuff. For you guys listeners out there, but yeah, he's played, man. He's played with some some heavy hitters here in Austin. I think he opened up once for Metallica. I don't know at one point, but I think I remember him doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
he
think
hits up
to
Tejano. He can hit a little bit of an accordion and. Just to
Everything.
freaking amuse my brother, he'll freaking give me the guitar, he'll play it, or the accordion. He'll play some like real vintage,
Really?
But then he drops it and he goes back to his guitar. And he builds his own guitar too, man. He puts all his custom built the whole thing. He came up to me one day. He goes, "Hey man, I tore my guitar apart. I want to repaint it," and he cut it and did. I was like, "Holy shit!" You just
and you painted it up?
No, he did it. He did it all on his own. He actually builds. He used to actually when he was younger, when he was like 12, 13. He used to make Caterpillars, man, complete model, 125 scale, out of Coke can bottles. He would cut up the aluminum and build all that stuff. So when he started getting into the guitar and all that stuff, it was just natural for him to say, "I want that guitar, I want to fix it." So, so he plays exactly what you've been talking about.
Yeah, no, you showed me a couple videos of him hitting it up, making some licks.
Right.
So
he's out there, man. So like again, his name's Fonzo Hernandez, and I'm sure you guys probably know him if you're in the world of heavy metal. It's not satanic.
Yeah, I mean that's all how you look at it, man. You don't. It's not. Yeah. It's. Don't.
Why did it? What you know? What
I mean?
What did they even?
So look, here.
What caused that?
So
shit
here goes the thing. So there's different genres of metal, right?
Right.
There's metal heavy. There's death metal. There's thrash metal,
right.
But there is some metal that's called like it's the black metal. That's the gosh shit over like in like a different like in not
Ireland.
Britain, but yeah, like in that area.
Yeah,
they do have some
next to Dracula's castle.
That's shit. I don't listen to that shit.
Right.
That's called like black metal. Like that's not the metal I listen to.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's thrash, there's heavy. And there's that black shit.
What would you call Ozzy?
Ozzy's just regular metal.
He'd shoot a freaking head off of a bat.
Yeah, that is true. I've been in San Antonio, but then that's just regular metal. Ozzy's just metal.
He just did it for publication.
Yeah, he's just regular metal. He's not heavy metal. He's not thrash. He's just regular metal.
Dude, I think if he didn't piss on the Alamo and if he didn't freaking shoot that damn bat head off, he would have been as famous as he is today.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's known for.
Yeah,
not
that's the only thing he's labeled. He's labeled.
That's it.
Boom. And I think he's like restricted to ever go to San Antonio.
Yo, we shouldn't even said it now. We're probably gonna get labeled for saying.
Yeah, like I said, that was like in the diary of that might have been before that. That was like in the early '80s.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, so like there is some funky heavy metal shit that gives like a bad name. That's like that. It's shit like in a different country. I mean, it's not here. It's in like European countries.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like in the like. Yeah, it's crazy.
No,
but like I said, like there's heavy metal, there's thrash metal, and that's kind of what I'm into. Right?
And
there's different genres.
Why would they fucking? And some of those actually
that's glam.
And some of that
Hairspray,
actually,
glam.
Yeah, and some of that actually was working with cars back in the billet, billet era. You know what I mean? The ZZ Top billet cars.
Yeah,
Because you go to a car show,
but
they'd be playing Motley Crue.
So like glam metal, that was like your early Motley Crues and Poison and those because those fuckers were wearing makeup.
Who was it that came out in Blazing
shit.
Saddles? They were in the background of Blazing Saddles.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Quiet Riot? No, it wasn't them.
No, it wasn't them. Like
anyway, they're making a fucking video and these motherfuckers. They break into the studio.
That's so glam metal was the thing. That was the thing from the people who were the guys who were wearing like spandex and hair and makeup. That's glam metal. They're like I said, Poison. I didn't give a shit about Poison.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about Bon Jovi.
Def Leppard.
I don't like Def Leppard. No. But like Rat and like Motley Crue, early Motley Crue was cool.
They were cool, right?
To me because Motley Crue when I first heard Shout the Devil, right? They had an album out before that. It was Livewire.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I dug it. But when they got the like Theater Pain, Smoking in the Boys' Room, You remember? Nah, I didn't get it.
No. When I used to like
Look,
those
look,
names,
I'm listening. Look, this is our Molly Crew
AC/DC,
right here. This is a live wire. See, this is early Molly Crew. So this is 81.
See, that sounded good.
So this is good.
That right there reminds me of a freaking Camaro center lines.
Yeah,
blasting on 6x9. Ain't no woofers,
definitely
subs and like that. 6x9s.
6x9. That's definitely a
EQ,
second gen. That's definitely second gen.
Kenwood EQ.
Second gen Camaro. Yeah, that's with some N50s with some air shocks in the back.
Well, I don't even know about N50s, but I think you could have had some
flat tires.
Yeah, definitely some Kellys.
Yeah.
Some McCreary's.
Those are that's a Krager's SS's right there.
All I remember was center lines and McCreary's everywhere.
Yeah, that's you're right,
dude. I had a set of McCreary's that were in storage for so long, and I brought them out, dude. They were still soft and good, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I'll put them on my car. Freaking center lines and shit.
Yeah. So those genres of metal, there's different. They're not labeled the same to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just not the way because there is. Oh, well, it's funny because my uncle, the one that got me into a lot of the music, and he used to he said, "Why are you into that devil weed music?" He's called it devil weed. Yeah, devil weed music. That's devil weed music. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I was still jamming to like.
He's got some truth to it though.
Yeah,
you remember you walking into the back room.
Yeah,
dude, it was like freaking. There's the bottom floor. It's like a purple pink, and then there's a cloud of smoke.
Oh
like,
yeah,
damn, that cloud of smoke. What is that?
Dry ice? He wasn't wrong about that. But like I said,
no.
Me being that time, 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm like, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. But then you go like, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Right.
You're right. But I was still jamming to like Rush and Police and Eddie. I was still jamming to that. The good old fashioned rock, Boston. Boston. I'm a big fan of Boston and Foreigner and all that shit.
I'm surprised 93.7 FM's been around that long. They don't change. I mean, they still play their old hits.
Yeah, but. I mean they've been bought out. They still broadcast on 937, but their format has changed, but it's still similar. You remember what was it? KNAC and 101X.
I remember when they came out. I listened to it for a little while.
What's funny? 101X, when the 101X, it was a syndicated show.
Yeah.
Back in the mid 90s. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time I heard Larry the Cable Guy on there. He was on
for
there.
Real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did say he
used to do that same
I remember
persona.
him. He did say that. Yeah.
He started out on 101X, and then he went and grew up to be a big ass comedian. But yeah, it was Larry the Cable Guy. And he had the same persona of like a hillbilly, redneck.
They played. They used to play a shitload of Guns N' Roses.
Oh, they played a lot more metal on that station.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played.
They had what is it on Friday nights, right? When we play the heavy metal. Mm-hmm. Then MTV, of course, they always had their Headbangers Ball. I kind of like that, man. We used to
Ricky Ratman.
We'd wait till me and my buddy, man.
It was 11 o'clock.
We'd wait till that time, man, to freaking come over to the house, man. They're about to hit.
That's funny, yeah, because we all did that. Like I said, in the middle school, I remember. Right. You remember? It was big because they showed the video all the damn time. Mm-hmm. It was Anthrax, Iron Man.
Yeah.
That was always on like Headbangers Ball, and they always play the good stuff, man.
That's when the heavy stuff. That's when Beavis and Butthead would come out and freaking like, what is this shit? Because if it wasn't part of Headbangers Ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that was separate.
They give a bad review to later on.
Because Headbangers Ball was like from the mid '80s, from like '86 to like, because Beavis and Butthead came out like in like '92, '93. So yeah, they kind of rolled into it. Yeah, Beavis and. That's funny you said that. But I forgot about them. But Headbangers Ball, and just like on 101X, and even like Kelby J. Like tonight on Friday nights, they have L.A. Lloyd. He does a top. I think it's a top 30. It's all metal. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's either Friday or Saturday nights.
Yeah.
But they still kind of keep it real, which it's all good. I Who listens to radio anymore, Harley?
Nobody does, man.
I mean, it's
Pandora or...
It's Pandora, Spotify,
we're on Spotify.
We're on Spotify, by the way. But like I say, hardly anybody listens to radio other than when you're commuting. But nobody commutes at in the evening.
Even what was a big thing? It was a couple of months back. Tesla said, "Hey, we're not even going to carry AM radio in the cars anymore." They just completely decided.
Oh, I didn't know
I don't
that.
know if they took it out or not, but they said they were going to just phase it out.
There's not a. I mean,
You know,
it's surprising that there is still AM stations in which they are, but it's all just talk.
that's all.
Well,
It
then
is.
so
I don't listen.
everybody goes to podcasts.
Right.
Everybody does podcasts now, right? So
You got enough freaking. You have enough Wi-Fi, you know, to keep the radio from. Remember,
Yeah.
you know, in the early 2000s, man, you'd connect your phone to the car, and then you'd run out of internet service, man. Your music started freaking cutting out, man, or you'd enter a dead zone like a Little River. And you're like, shit, man, where's my music? I can't play nothing, man. What's up with Little River, man? That little area, man. They got like
it's a hole.
a dead spot.
It's a hole, yeah. It don't matter what service you got. It's just that little area of I don't know.
You can't broadcast.
It's just
no
a matter
damn
where
event, nothing.
wherever the tower's at, it just doesn't ping right in there.
That's
Something.
crazy,
I mean,
man. Nobody can ever freaking actually film nothing live in there because everything just started dying out. You know,
It's true, everybody, and it's still like this. You think all the providers are like, oh, we're getting new towers up.
Yeah. So
Not
now you
there.
know if you can't see a live event there, it's because of the
no
poor
service.
quality. Now you
There's
know.
no service.
Yeah.
They need to get some more towers out there, but yeah, back in if you go back to like the period where you start. I guess honestly, smartphones didn't come out to 2006. 2006.
Right. Yeah.
And
I remember that on CenTex Hot Rods.
yeah,
Who was one of them dudes? They owned a
was
phone shop, right, or something like that. That dude.
Oh yeah,
The guy with the Chevelle.
Yeah, there was a couple
the Malibu
guys. The Malibu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I remember he was like
I remember-
freaking posting the iPhone and
He was making a big deal about it.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that? What the hell is an iPhone?
CenTex Hot Rods.
CenTex
That
Hot
goes
Rods.
back. That goes way back. And by the way, yeah, rest in peace, Randy David.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, he was the moderator. He was the
Mm.
creator of that CenTex Hot Rod. So anyway, yeah, it's funny you say that because when you go back to 2006 when iPhones and smartphones first came out, whether it be even Androids, Androids. I was an Android guy for a long time because they used to be able to get you MP3s. MP3s. You can MP3s all day long, man. You can download, and then because iPhones had their own wave of a format.
I think the best phone I got was the Sidekick when it came out.
Yeah.
It was a
flip, wasn't it?
It was a flip, but it
Yeah.
had a screen where you could actually see the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I was up to date with all that thing. And then one day I put it in my pocket and I closed the door.
Cracked it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I got the Sidekick too.
Yeah.
Didn't last much longer, man. Cracked that sucker till I was done. From that point on, it was cheap ass Android until my sons come around. They're like, Dad, you got to get away from that Android shit.
Androids are good because, like I said, you can just regularly put MP3 files on your phone.
Yeah.
You know you had a shitload on your computer.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. Have all the albums and then.
Right. I mean, iPhone, I'll tell you what, iPhone, you can take great photos.
Yeah.
But being that I come from Android, dude, I can do a lot more with an Android.
You can, what
Then
they
I
used to
could
call
with
them, when
iPhone.
you used to, Andrew used to do unlock them, they used to call it with, I can't remember what they used to call the term, but you can unlock them easier than you can an iPhone. Not brick, yeah, you know what I'm talking
brick
about.
is brick. No, they're called.
God damn it.
Whenever you get
You can do it. You can
software,
unlock,
which is non
yeah, you can go and get unlimited bandwidth.
open software.
Yeah, something you can go and unlock it a little lot easier. There's a way, but yeah, you can unlock them. You can have unlimited. Your battery will last longer.
Right.
And,
I used to go in there, man, and freaking reformat. Like I'll get some cheap ass tablets for like $40.
Yeah.
And I would reformat those motherfuckers and put in some software that somebody pirated, and created. And then I'd have that sucker, man, running on my car. Which,
oh yeah.
I used to do all that. Stuff.
They
got tired of it.
They
though,
restrict
man,
them so much. So
Right.
anyway, going down to like the differences of different formats of phones or files is that overall, you start looking at the podcasts. There's no radio. There's no other than talk show radios in the morning during the week. But other than that, everybody's listening to podcasts probably.
My daily thing is I wake up, I put it on 99.7 FM, listen to the news, whatever's going on, and probably by 11 o'clock I'm done.
Yeah.
And I go to freaking podcast.
Yeah.
And if I'm not listening to that, then I'm
That's
just
it,
doing
man.
something else.
Everybody listen to podcasts. Tune into us. We'll have some content.
Right.
We got plenty of content.
Go Wi-Fi. Look up
Yeah.
freaking Wi-Fi. Fucking internet, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody listens to radio no more.
Hardly, if you
Everybody-
think about it. Because even like on the new cars, they have the ability to run like an Apple Play or something. So you're hooked up to your phone.
Right.
Either listen to music you have on your phone, or you listen to some show or something. Right.
Right.
So yeah, but to kind of go down to, what I listen to, what you listen to, how we get our day, what I do in the shop. Music is I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah, I got a preference, man. So
Yeah.
I got Pandora on mine, dude. My Pandora.
It's cool about
is
Pandora because
mixed.
you start selecting one song, and then it'll kind of
Right.
automatically pick your genre and say
And now,
you may or may not like.
for a long time, you were just stuck with it, right? Unless you had the pay. Now, if you listen to a commercial, they'll let you play the whole album.
I seen that, yes.
And so I'm like,
Yeah,
hey,
because it's free because they get got the advertisement because you can get.
But you got to listen to a freaking minute.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Nah, it ain't bad.
Ain't nothing. I'll listen to it for free because I'm not gonna pay to get a subscription to take the commercials out. Commercials don't even.
Or so you can save your own music, download it.
Yeah.
But so that's what I do. So talking with that, going vintage and talking about what people do today.
Yeah.
What do people do here when it comes to? See, it's not cold enough that you got to put your cars up, right?
Right.
And in the summer is really when people put their cars up because it's too damn hot.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd bring today something that some of the guys back in the day used to do when you weren't running your car or it was just another hobby. I mean, you really didn't have seasons you could do it all day long. So, for those who are watching it on YouTube, I brought some RC cars. The little 125 slot car. That's mainly what you see up on the East Coast. Because these guys really put up their cars. Literally, you're cold, right?
Yeah, they can't
do
shit.
They build these RC cars and they run for money just like if you were at the track, right?
Yeah.
And then here in Texas or Austin, I went to the hobby town, right? One day, I had my car and I said, man, I just feel like going in there and checking out some model cars. That's what I was always into. And I go in there, man, I kind of recognize some faces, and they kept going to the back of the store. And I said, man, what are these guys doing in the back? They're like, oh, man, let's go back there. They're racing RCs. Really? Huh. So I go to the back.
They said, okay, go back there?
Yeah, so I go around, get in my car, drive. Shit, there was like 3 or 4 cars that I know from the street, and they're all in there. They're all out there sitting.
No
they have
shit.
they got their pull-out chairs. They got their table, just like this table like this.
Where was this at again?
Off of Barton Creek and Lamar, South Lamar.
Oh.
And so some of these guys were out there in the back, and I'm like, damn, what the hell are y'all doing here? They're like, hey, we're not racing the car. We're doing these right here. And these were the Nitro RC cars. And the majority of those guys were running what they called HPI. It's a company that would build a Nitro RC car. And so this Corvette right here is what they were running. And so, man, I'd never seen I mean, I thought, I'm like, is Nitro for real? Like Nitro, like from the dragsters? And so I go and read the bottle, and sure enough, man, they're running the methanol and a little bit of mix of 20%, I think 20 or 30% that they would mix in with the gallon, yeah. And so I think it was there was a friend of mine, Steve, that was there, and he had his '67 Camaro there, big block car. It was one of the fastest cars in town back then. But he's got his car there, and so I watch him for a little bit, and I'm like, man, I want one of those cars. And so I go back in the store, and they had this one which was a Nitro, but it was a Super Nitro. It was a bigger car. Well, I couldn't run this car with them because their class was all the regular Nitro scaled cars, kind of like the size of the Chevelle, basically. And so I go, now I'm all into fucking RC cars, right? So I go get a magazine, RC, action magazine, and I started buying stuff for it, and here we go again, building a bigger motor, tuning the suspension, and none of those cars back then were breaking the 100-mile-an-hour thing. So I started looking into. I'm like, well, damn, I'd like to go faster and faster and faster. So that's what I started doing with this Corvette, and so I bought the big motor. And by the time I knew it, man, I had like $1,000 in this damn car. It cost me like $400 and something.
Yeah, then add-ons
on Christmas Day, I remember I'm putting it together. My brother shows up early in the morning, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm building this car." And he's like, "Oh, okay, damn, that's pretty good." And he drinks, coffee, eggs, whatever, and freaking leaves. Comes back,
Bring
The
some more
next
shit.
morning,
Yeah.
I'm still there on the table, putting the car together. He's like, "You're still putting it together?
Damn.
You really didn't go to sleep last night?" He just said, "No, I'm going on 24 hours. I'm almost
Yeah,
done." And so I turned it on. I put the motor in, crank it, I turned the car on inside the house in the kitchen.
Bah.
No, the nitro. It starts hitting my eyes.
Hitting your
It
eyeballs.
starts hitting everybody's eyes. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It was, man, our eyes were, man, like cutting onions. That's how bad it
yeah.
was. So we went outside. My dad's looking at me, and we did some little spins right there on the parking lot. And I took the car over to one of the football stadiums.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to freaking pull up my antenna on my car, on my
Lost
controller.
connection.
Dude, I hit that car and boom, the car starts going. I mean, it was hauling ass. Next thing you know, I'm like, holy shit, I don't have no more control.
connection.
Next thing you know, man, it just did a fucking 90-degree turn towards freaking the highway that goes to Oak Hill and Burger Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
It started going towards the highway, and luckily, man, it hit there was a long patch of grass, man, and that's where it stopped. And so I picked it up, I recovered it, man, and that was my first lesson on these little nitro cars.
Pick the antenna.
But yeah, that's what these guys did for the longest, man. On their off days, they would race nitro, and not drag racing, it's track,
Right.
Now I'm looking at some of these guys that do no prep, and I can't remember the guy's name. He does a lot of the photography.
Yeah.
For the guys at Little River, for a lot of these no, but as a matter of fact, he was there at the event you were at not too long ago. What was it called?
This past weekend.
Christmas
Cash Day.
Cash Days.
Yeah,
He took a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
That guy, I never talked to him, but he'll post photos of stuff that he builds, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Traxxas has these funny cars. They got the dragsters, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get me one of these cars because I hear that these guys are drag racing no prep street cars. Like the car's actually built for no prep RC.
Right.
And so I finally went out there and I just picked one up, man, just because I just wanted to see what it was all about. And that's how that Chevelle came, man, with slicks, Mickey Thompson slicks. It's got suspension. The wheelie bars are tunable, and I think in a scaled eighth mile, it probably hits like 40 miles an hour. Stop. Yeah, the Corvette here, this one here hits probably about 70, 80.
Yeah.
But this one here, and that's with my mods.
Yeah.
But this one in stock, it runs about 40. And so you could see it on the
your
floor here. It was cutting.
It was getting, like I said, it was spinning because, like I said, the floor is so slick. But like I said, you can feel those tires. They're soft.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I thought I'd bring these in because I know some of you guys are out there probably do this. I'm not aware of who does it here in Austin or in the central area. But if you're interested,
I know that was pretty big in Waco.
Alfred had the slot cars.
He
still has his he still has a real nice track.
Okay.
And but I just never went over there. But I seen him on
so he did slot cars. Okay.
Yeah. So I bought this one, and I'm gonna give credit to Mike Cisneros over at Hobbytown. His brother, you guys know him. They're twins. Mark Cisneros, he had the Monte Carlo SS, the charcoal, real nice car.
Yeah. Charcoal gray.
Yeah, so those guys have been around
So
the
they
street
do all that stuff,
having
right,
fun. Yeah, and so I decided to go and I was building my slot car, and Mike goes, man, I've got one right here because I was trying to build an RC in that scale.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we got some in RC, a little bit bigger. He goes, I've got my Nova out there. He goes, man, if you want to have at it, man, have at it.
Is that right?
So I picked it up, man, and just to look it over and maybe build some custom bodies and see how they put those together.
They said you could buy kits like that, right?
You buy the kit,
body,
right?
right?
It's all solder. You put the motor on it, and the wheels, man, are actually they look like authentic. They look like your wheels on your car,
Yeah,
and man, those wheels, man, they range anywhere between $20 to $100, depending on which kind of wheel you wanna buy out there. If you want slots, you're gonna get some slots. If you want some stars or something, you're gonna find them in aluminum. So they look really cool. They look authentic. Some people make them identical to their cars because it's a model. It's a real body.
Yeah.
So you can paint it up and do whatever you want. And then you put on that electric line, man, and hit the button, and then you can.
It's like it disappears.
Yeah, and then you let off the thing and it stops. You don't have to slam into the wall.
Yeah. You let off the current, right? It's gonna.
Yeah. So I was always interested in doing that, and so I'm gonna take this over to Oscar with the plastic surgeons. next Tuesday.
We gotta do it first, second Tuesday.
Yes, I
month or
think something like that. Yeah, and so I'm gonna take it out there for display so they can see it and see what kind of bodies we can design and put them on some chassis like that. There's a place in Pflugerville that does slot car racing, and they had a quarter-mile track, an actual scale quarter-mile track in there.
That's what you're talking about.
And so I went to go and see Butch Lake, the badass drag racer here in Austin, and he was in there, man. He was doing some rounds.
They got rid of the track.
But they got rid of the track like 2 days before I was there.
Why they get rid of it?
Because nobody knew about it. Nobody was hitting the races. Had people like us that are on the podcast, my 3 listeners here, we would have had a great time out there if we had. They don't cost very much to build these cars. Maybe I would say you can start off at about $100, something like that, with the kit, and get going. Or somebody can build it for you, there, because they have their own. They have all the parts there. Oh yeah, they have everything: motors, tires, all. And so I said, you know what? One of these days I'll build that damn thing. And it just so happens that everybody's doing RC cars too. So if you're out there, man, if you guys like this kind of stuff, man, shoot, man, send us an email.
Reach out. Y'all can get something.
I'd like to see some of your cars, man. And man, we can put these cars on the street right outside right now. They have headlights too, right?
Yeah, they have headlights. Heck, I mean, street one thing, actually, get something that's lit up. Like even if you do it in a day, man, yeah, you can hit it right there, man.
Yep, right now, $5. My car says it's faster than your new store bought car. $5. I'll put $5 on it. come take my $5.
Lock that in, right?
Lock it in. Call in around. Text me.
Hell yeah! Like I said, yeah, that's something that can be fun. Like I said, I'm not gonna say it's expensive. It's not inexpensive, right?
No.
So it's a fun little thing to do on the side. Like I said, particularly in the winter months.
Right.
When there's downtime or whatever. So, heck yeah.
It's great stuff.
I can only imagine with some of the stuff that you just looking at the Chevelle. I'm sure there's some other cool stuff out there.
Oh no, they have a so if you go to Proline, ProlineRC.com or something like that, they have the rear Morrison Pro Stock Camaro from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got that. They
got a second gen too, probably.
Yeah,
third gen.
No, it's the third gen.
Yeah.
And then they have the. They might have some others in there.
Yeah.
The other one that caught my eye was the King Cobra, the race car, the one that they run in Superstock. Mm-hmm. They have that body. They make wider slicks. Now this is 1/16 scale. The one that Traxxas has is the 10th scale. That's the one that I was seeing everybody usually running around on YouTube. I don't know what the statistics are, but one of those cars went at a. They're not making it no more.
Really?
But Losi, LOSI, they have this Chevelle in 1/16 scale, and it looks more realistic. It looks more like a real, to scale car. That's why I like. That's why I bought it, and the car comes ready to go with controller, battery, the whole damn thing. And I mean, I was surprised the first time I put it on my street. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, man, nobody's here. I'm just gonna go outside and. I'm bored. I don't want to do no Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And I hit that little sucker. I put it on low setting. It's got low, medium, and high, 100%. On the battery.
Right.
I put it on low and I hit it. The car went straight. I'm like, wow, man, this was cool. So I hit it to the 100%, and I hit that button, man. The little car, boy, it started
disappeared.
It started going sideways. It started making S turns and all, and I had to let off like if I was in a real car. And then when I finally gripped it, man, I hit it, and the car, man, just boom. I mean, it freaking flew, dude. I was like, this is a real freaking no prep freaking
I can
remote
only
control.
imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine because the little hit you're hitting here. I mean, it's slick, but I mean, it's
If it gets traction, it actually pulls a wheelie. You got to actually adjust those wheelie bars because it will leave on you.
Leave on the bar.
And it's running on the stock battery. You can actually put
upgrade the battery,
a bigger lithium battery, lipo battery, as they say it.
Yeah.
And the car gets faster. I don't know how much the battery, the motor can take on that, but these guys tune them, man.
It's crazy.
I seen some of these electric cars. I seen them do like this is 40 miles an hour. Can you imagine a 80 mile an hour car?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll blow by you.
I
quick.
know. You can't see it.
Take your leg out, man.
You can't take your eye off it.
Yeah, but anyway, I thought they were cool, man. I thought I'd bring you the other world of what some of these
alternatives,
pure horsepower junkies, what we like to do.
Yeah. So you can see like I said, it's got suspension,
Man,
tucks,
yeah.
sits,
Oh yeah.
front end sits.
If you turn, it turns just like a real drag car. It'll start leaning sideways. So you can't do fast turns at the top end. You got to slow down and make your turn slow because you will flip the car. The response on the steering is pretty quick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, actually, you can actually even learn how to race. Probably with one of these little cars before you step
Before you go
onto a
down the
real
track.
car. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. I like them. And they've got authentic looking wheels and stuff that you can buy.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Mickey Thompson or Hoosier
It
wheels.
is pretty up to scale. I mean, everything. I mean, as far as like the down to the wheelie bar and the wheels and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. So it's a fun, exciting thing, alternatively,
Right.
right? So just kind of wanted to kind of show what other things that everybody else
Racers
gets
do.
into, your racers do,
Yeah.
and
And they actually call these no prep cars. They actually call these no prep race cars. RC no prep race cars.
no shit.
Yeah, that's the key term.
Wow.
So if you want to look them up on online,
What was it on? What was that site again?
just look up no prep RC cars.
Oh, no prep RC.
You'll see Traxxas, Losi, and a few others that sell you these kits or ready to run. This happens to be the LOSI company out of California, and I liked it because they had a Chevelle. I had a Chevelle back in the day, and so I bought it. But I might be buying that rear Morrison body and just buying another one of these and putting that on just to
Just make some show,
Have-
make some exhibition hits.
have two cars running.
Make
Yeah, this one's taking a
exhibitions.
beat, man. Josh is already racing one of his buddies at work, and
I can see.
he's
Got some
hauling
love
ass.
marks on it.
Oh man,
Hmm.
he pulled I think he pulled a Sievert on his Monte Carlo on the second outing, man. It's not a Monte Carlo, but it's a Chevelle, man. It took a roll. It took a fucking roll, man. It hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt.
I can
was
imagine.
Damn. Shit.
Well,
But
cool
that's
deal,
cool.
man. Like I said, that's something we're gonna try to expose. There's other things, alternatively, that we talk about, subjects and whatnot. But like I said, got some other things going on that we're gonna be working on. So everybody, just be on the lookout here in the future. Some of the podcasts may be slow, but we're gonna.
We always got something to give you
We
guys.
got something going. It's just permits to our schedule, but we're gonna be making some more shows.
Tune into our stuff, man. Keep
Tune
updated.
in,
We will
tune
put you.
in.
We'll give you some more stuff.
Tune in, share. Go to our Spotify
Paul and Buck
podcast
Show. Paul and Buck Show.
Paul and Buck Show.
Spotify.com. You'll see them.
And
We're there.
we're there.
Thanks to all you guys that listen to us.
Yeah.
That Spotify is now easy. It's easier for us to get located on Spotify than it was before.
Yeah, before
last year.
it was a little bit difficult. So we agree. We got some feedback from everybody else
Yeah.
and appreciate it. So that's one thing that we're going to make a change. So that's why I'm going to say go to Spotify, Paul and Buck Show. If anybody got any questions or concern, reach out to me or Paul. We're gonna try to make it as easy as possible for everybody.
Right.
And again, just all we can say is just continue listening, and we're gonna bring you some good stuff. So,
By the way, man, go give a shout out if you're into these cars. Go give a shout out to Mike Cisnero. He's over at the Hobby Town
There you
off
go.
of Palmer and Mopac. I
you
bought
go.
this Chevelle directly from him. I also bought the slot car.
There you
I
go.
don't think they have slot cars in there, but I bought his personal car. That's his personal little Chevy too.
there you go.
And this Corvette here, I actually back when his brother they were on the streets, that's when I bought this Corvette. It also came from Hobby Town. So go check them out, man. Go look at the stuff they've got, man. It'd be
you go.
nice to see you guys post up some stuff on Facebook and on your group forums that you're on, and just show
Yeah.
what you've got, man. It's cool stuff.
Also,
or share it with us.
Yeah. Also, another reminder. YouTube. We're on YouTube. Every episode is on YouTube with some video. Big Buckin Deal Show on YouTube. It's basically going to be Paul and Buck Show, basically. So just go to Big Buckin Deal YouTube, give us a like, share, let everybody know.
And now you know what kind of music we play here.
It's only again
It's drag-
unless some other
We have drag car music. and
yeah.
if we're gonna have,
to
if we're
me,
gonna-
to me that's just adrenaline
Yeah.
illusion, right? That's
That's how it
adrenaline
goes.
illusion. But if anybody got some requests, if everybody plans to come on, if they request something else, hey, we'll make an exception.
if you have an old car, you want to hear some rock and roll, hey,
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
There you go. All right, man. So with all that being said, we're gonna wrap it up. Again, it's 2024, first
Made it.
year.
We made it.
We made it. We're in
Safe.
January, so just be on the lookout, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and call it. There you go.
Now, y'all have a good day, man. See you
All
guys
right.
next time. Bye.
You guys be good. Peace.